Hey, HTDA, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, I started this session, at least I started opening up the game and looking at this map, thinking I would like just continue to play for maybe a couple of more episodes, kind of figure out what I'm doing, and then maybe redesign my base. Now, that is until I start to kind of click around some of these menus, and I encountered, where is it? This one, the room overlay. Now, the game probably told me all about this, but I might not have understood exactly what it was talking about. But as it turns out, I can make dedicated rooms for specific things. For example, I could make it a latrine, which includes toilets and wash stations, and then that gives me a morale bonus, which implies to me that that's a good thing to get. But it also gives me an additional reason to actually get a little bit more organized, because the longer I ignore this, the harder it's going to be to get that going. So, um, that said, that means I have to think about how to design my rooms. Okay, I have totally not been staring at this map for like 30 minutes or so, trying to figure out what to do. So, here's my plan. I really like the height of a room to be either 3 or 4. Now, by the looks of it, it seems that most buildings are either going to be 2 height or 3 height. As you can see, 2 height works for some of this stuff, but it doesn't give me any room to work with in addition to, the actual height of the room the building set place in there. So I know I want to have my rooms at least 3 height, but considering there's obviously also buildings that have a height of 4, I might just play it safe and make my rooms 4 heights. Speaking of rooms, that also gives me a reason to start using these doors, because I haven't been using them at all. Having a room height of 4 also helps, because the main thing I dug out so far, it has actually a height of 4 already, so that's nice. It also means that I'll have to completely redo this. But, let's take it one thing at a time. Now, on top of that, there's a couple other things that people pointed out in the comments, which thank you for that. First of all, the the wash basin here, in terms of the outhouse, is on the wrong side, because everyone's going to the toilet and then basically they just go back into the base and don't wash themselves. So that's probably not in the correct position. The wash basin over here, I think, is doing fine. I'm not entirely sure how dirty people get while eating, actually. We might not need this at all. Something else that people have been pointing out several times, actually, in the comments, is that if we look at the gases, then gases we already knew are going to go up and down. I'm not entirely sure why there's hydrogen gas up here. Huh, that's interesting. Not sure where that's coming from, but anyway. But we already figured out that, the CO2 is going down. So, I should make sure that oxygen and CO2 can move around my base, and apparently a thing that helps with that is making sure you have at least a couple of spaces in between your rooms in terms of where the main ladder is. Whether or not the ladder should be where it is currently, I don't know. This is all a little bit overwhelming and complicated at some point, but the main issue I have, that the water is like all over the place here. We might be able, honestly, to move that water around. Do I have a pump? I do have a pump. So this might be over ambitious, but what I could try to do is clear out this water over here, kind of move it into a side area, like over here. And then I can just make like a main ladder somewhere over here, maybe. I mean, we have the printing pot, which we can kind of use as like the central place of our base, but that means I would need to redesign some of this stuff over here as well. Okay, so this is potentially going to get all of my duplicates killed, because if I'm going to redesign my base, I'm going to be messing with the functionality of that base at the same time, which could be a very bad thing. So, with that in mind, why can't I? Oh, apparently we need to click it like here. Anyway, with that in mind, we might need to think about this for a moment longer. So how do I approach this in such a way that I'm not going to get every single one of my dupes killed? Hold on. Okay, so here's the plan. Let's just start improving my rooms one by one, kind of like reverse engineering everything that I've been doing so far, but now in a more structured way, which means that I think I'm gonna make a sleeping area up here. Why up there? Well, mostly because there is already buildings in here that I want to be placing probably somewhere else. And, oh, and I also found out, how did I do this? What was the copy button? B. There we go. That was not what I was trying to copy. Why is it copying that? Oh, I need to click on it first. There we go. I want to... Oh, I need to deconstruct those first. Okay, so I'll need to deconstruct a whole lot of stuff, and I'm also going to dig out. So I needed my rooms to be 4 height. Rooms can be, from the description in the room overview, like 64 tiles. So that is actually really, really, really large. Do I need it to be that large? I don't know. Maybe. I honestly don't know. But I think most of the maximum sizes for the rooms, yeah, it's all 64, 64, 64. Yeah. So I guess we're making a base that mostly consists out of rooms that are 64 tiles. Hold on. Hold on. Math. Because I think I did that wrong. If this is going to be the start of the room... No, actually that was right. Okay. That's fine. So this is actually going to be the room. That also means that there's going to be a wall and a door here. So that's a thing. I assume that doesn't count towards the actual room. Huh. Well, I guess we'll find out. But, yeah, that's going to be a thing. I probably also need to reprioritize some things, because we currently don't have anyone who's ranching anyway. Or doctoring for that matter, so let's make sure we block that out. So you can go building and digging a bit more. What are you doing? Rocketry. Yeah, we definitely have none of that as well. We do have farming, but we had someone, Ashcan, who is a lot better farmer than you are. So I'm just gonna reprioritize some of this stuff. You are cooking, that's fine. But when you're not cooking, well, do we need 3 of them? Maybe. I don't know. Let's just put it like this, and then there shouldn't be too much other stuff to do because I'm not adding anything new. You can't actually dig. He has trypophobia. Okay, that's a thing apparently. Okay, let's keep an eye on our calories, because we obviously don't want our people to get sick in that. And look at this. I think that we have a new one. Yeah, look at that. This is the bigger one. I was about to say, this one is smaller. And we have 2 of those lights flying around. Is that a good thing? I don't know. You are also sick. You have food poisoning. You are hungry. You have yucky lungs. You have soggy feet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Ali. But you'll have to stick with me for a moment. Yeah, we don't have a research station. That's okay. We're not doing any research now anyway. We are going to be relocating some of our stuff. Also, that probably means... What do I do first? Do I... Yeah, so I probably want to deconstruct some of this stuff as well. So the recommendation in the comments was to have a 3 wide corridor. So if I did my math correctly, then we need to deconstruct this and this. And then that should take care of things. Oh, everyone's eating. I'm gonna just skip to the next day so I don't bore you with too much stuff. Oh, actually, no, we can plan some things out while we're here. So, let's have a bed. We want the beds to be... How many tubes do we have? We have 5 of them. So, like this, right? No, not like that, actually. Hold on. And this is why thinking before you start acting is important, because this is the start of the room. So if we have 5 beds, we can actually do it like this. It's a surprisingly, you can fit a surprisingly small amount of people in or beds in a single chamber. So, you know, then again, we only have 5 duplicants. We'll have room for 1, 2, 3 more. So that's 8. And then we will have to build a new room on top of that. Okay, so we have this. Do we need to do anything else in this room? I don't really think so, do I? Okay, it's a bright new day, and they have already started to redecorate. That means that we are going to have to do... Well, actually, we'll have to remove some of this stuff as well. So we'll have to deconstruct our food machine over here. Yeah, because... Let's see, this needs to be the wall, and then we have a 3-wide tile thingy. Actually, that means we need to get rid of this wash basin as well. And then once that happens... Oh, they're actually both building and... Okay, that's fine. So, let's see. In order to make a room, what we need to do is make sure that there's a door. We will need... Hold on, we'll need a tile. And then I guess we do it like this. That should work, right? Yeah. And that also means that once we have that up and running, then... Do we... Yeah, we should run the ladder through the middle. What I don't really know is whether or not we need platforms to the side. I mean, they can jump, right? Is that a good or a bad thing if I make them jump? I actually don't know. Let's go with this first and see what that looks like. I mean, this guy managed to get there. But that was before I removed the ladder. That might actually have been a problem. If it wasn't for these Frankie and Mary building the ladders right back up. So he should be able to get back, I think. Yeah, so we're removing this. Actually, we need to remove all of this because this is not a height 4 room. Although I might not have wanted to do that because it's not really a high priority. But you know. We'll deal with that at some point. But like I said, this is almost as likely to get my people killed as it is to be an improvement to the base, but I'll have to deal with it one thing at a time. So, we have the beds over here, which means we can deconstruct these beds. That cleans up that in the meanwhile. Not sure if I should have started digging out this entire room already, so we don't really need it to be there just yet. You know, let's take it one thing at a time, like I said. Okay, so this is going to be the start of the room. That also means we can start deconstructing this now. And this. And if we have that deconstructed, what we can do is we can start to... Let me try and make a habit of using this more, because that is going to be faster. Okay, like so. Then we can... add this in, we can select this door, we can build a door over there. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. First needed to delete stuff, there we go. And then we can deconstruct this ladder. And we can put in place of that a little bit of a tile. Thank you for prioritizing that. I think that was a pure accident, but you know, helps. There we go. I hope I'm not throwing too much stuff into my water. How is there clean water here? I have no idea. That shouldn't be happening, right? I don't know. Again, I already like the looks of my base better. I know that sounds completely unhinged, probably. But, yeah, I do. It's really nice. If we're redecorating anyway, I might want to move my farm, actually. Okay, hold on. What is their schedule? So they work, they have downtime, they have bath time. What do they do during bath time? Is that when they go to the toilets? I haven't really been paying attention when they do that. Or do they do that like after they eat? Oh, let's keep an eye out for that. What I really want to see is once this completes... Look, we have our first door. This is awaiting a copper delivery. I need to keep an eye on my copper, because if I'm doing this much redecorating, do I actually have enough for that? Let's find out. Metal. Oh, we have quite a bit of ore. I'm not sure if this is a lot, but 4,000 kilograms should get me, at least to some extent, to where I need to go. Okay, so we have this corridor of 3 in the middle. Now let's copy this. No, we don't want a wall. We don't want a wall over there. We want a door. There we go. Because if I understand this correctly, mess hall. Yeah, so any room that has a dining table in it and no other random stuff should give me a morale of +3, actually. That sounds... Oh, look, the barracks is counting as a barracks. What does that give me? A morale bonus of +1. Yay! Okay, so that is working like intended. There's stuff on the floor here that at some point we probably should deal with, but... this is going to be the mess hall. We already have the tables in here, so we might as well utilize those. Again, do I need a washing basin there? I'm gonna assume not. Because I feel like they're most likely to go eat, go to the bathroom, and then they need to wash up. Speaking of which, that probably means that I want to relocate my farm over here. Because if that's what they're doing, either they're going to go to bed and then wake up and go pee. I mean, I guess that's what most humans do. Or they are going to... What's happening over here? Did some of the sand fall down or something? I mean, this is sandstone. I don't know. Anyway, either they're going to go to bed and then to the bathroom, or eat and then go to the bathroom. I mean, both of those things make sense, so that means... This is why I'm pointing over here, that this is a usable location for our bathroom. At least that's what it feels like. So that means that... Can I just... Hold on. If I select this... If I select this, I said, can I just build over this? That's a little bit annoying. Okay, so then we'll have to deconstruct these tiles, and then we'll have to build a new floor here, and that's where our bathroom is going to be. I think I can actually already design that. That's kind of cute. So if we do this, hold on, not hover over it, click it. This is 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay. Okay, this is starting to look like it's somewhat organized. And yes, they are jumping over here. So that is working like intended as well. Again, clicking on it first. How many of these wash basins do we need? Do we need just one or do we need more? Let's play it safe and build the first outhouse here. And let's have a wash basin. Maybe we'll need 2... Okay, this guy just went to the bathroom in the middle of the day. Or at least, I don't know. Can I see what time it is? It's near the end of the cycle. Huh. Well. They do seem to be taking turns going to the bathroom. Hold on. So we'll need more than one at least. I'm not sure about the wash basin just yet. Can I... Oh, I can't actually set its direction yet. That's a bit of a shame. Okay, so this works, right? We'll need to dig out the rest of this. Okay, hold on. Sizing up 64 tiles. Again, do I need to do 64 right away? Probably not. The nice thing is once you have the... Oh, we need the heavy digging. Do we still have that? Or was that Ari who died who had that? No, Frankie. Frankie is our real digger. Oh, he needs 1 morale. And he has 2. So we actually... Oh, okay. So this is what we used the morale for. Now I actually remember that is somewhere there. Oh, he already has this skill. How does that work? I don't know. Anyway, not important for the moment. Let's keep going to the next day. Okay, it seems that they're complaining about not having enough oxygen. Oh, that is not a good thing. Why is my... Oh, okay then. This is a problem. Hold on, let's pause. I am making my oxygen where? Hold on. I actually forgot. It's this machine, right? No, it's this machine, the electrolyzer. But this is not making any. Why are you not making any? Why is my CO2 not dropping down here? Hold on. Are these doors blocking that in? Can I tell? Okay, current status auto. Enclosed areas without blocking liquid or gas flow. Okay, so well, that is not a problem. Shouldn't be a problem, at least. Okay, so it has an auto station. The door will open and close as needed. You can keep it open. Okay, well, I'm not sure if that's important. So why is my oxygen not getting where it needs to go? That's probably because it's all going here. Okay. Okay. This sounds like a problem. So how are we going to solve the problem? I have only three ways of making oxygen, really. I still don't think this is really doing anything. So we have the oxygen diffuser. This needs to be powered. So do I just make an... I mean, sorry, what I'm thinking is I could make a kind of like a oxygen station somewhere. Alternatively, what I could do is just build one of these things over here. The electrolyzer. So this is really interesting because this is producing 550 grams per second. Sorry, no, 500 grams per second in terms of oxygen. If I'm not mistaken, let me check this. I was clicking around. I'm not sure where I found this. Low oxygen. Okay, I'm nearly killing my people here. Breath. So it might be someone that told me in the comments then. I don't remember, but I think every duplicant produces about 100. Consumes about 100 oxygen per cycle per second. So as long as I have this working, where is it? No, sorry, this working, one of those oxygen diffusers working, that should theoretically produce enough for my 5 duplicants, and if it's producing more, then it's not a problem. The electrolyzer itself was producing way more, so this is overkill. However, we kind of need overkill, right? To some extent. Where do I build this? What makes sense? I'm almost inclined to make this space wider and then have like oxygen diffusers in there. Or maybe just on one side. I'm not sure if I want to use this for anything else in the future though. Let me think about this. Okay, so here's the plan. I can actually just make another level over here, then have my oxygen produce that, and just not make it a room. I'm also thinking that, and I'm not sure if this is a thing, but it might make sense to have like doors like this, like on top of the other doors. That looks really ugly, but if the doors are not actively blocking the passing through of gases, that might make that more efficient. Not entirely sure about that, honestly. I'll leave that for the moment, but it's worth considering. Now, that means that I need to deconstruct this. I also need to deconstruct this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So this is going to be my base level, which means I need to deconstruct this. Hold on. Deconstruct this. Then I probably want to build in the floor so that there's not all kinds of stuff dropping into the water. And that might be the best way to proceed. I am building a lot of things at the same time now, which is probably a problem. This game is literally just a whole mess of problems in general. But, one thing at a time. We'll need to make sure we finish those stairs. We are destructing that, so that is good. Then we can copy this. Come on, Frankie, you can do it. Yeah, I know, it's hard work. I do love the animations on all these characters, by the way. I like that they all look very different. I like a lot of things about this game. It's the longer I play it, the more I'm starting to enjoy it, which honestly should be the case for most games, but it's not. So, you know, let's see. So, copy, copy, copy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the floor that we're aiming at. So just I managed to build floors on every single level except for the one that I wanted at. So what else is new? Let's see. So we can then also dig this out. And we're not, and I repeat, we're not building an actual room because I don't think there's such a thing as like an oxygen production room. Is this producing oxygen? Oh, it's fertilizer. Okay, anyway, then we can dig that out. I probably want to cancel some of this stuff. Mostly because we don't need it right now. There we go. We can leave this out as well. Hold on. Let's just do it like this so I know where like the edge of the room is. And then we definitely also want the washing basin up and running. Oh, there we go. Now, if I understand this correctly, set direction left, that means that whenever they go out, they wash themselves, which is kind of what we want after they went to the bathroom. So, that means we can also deconstruct this. We no longer need that. Honestly, we should have deconstructed this thing a long time ago, because I don't think that serves any purpose whatsoever. Oh, hold on. For deconstructing that, we need to make sure this is a higher priority. Is it a high priority now? Priorities, yes. We are building this at priority 8, and they're jumping. Not sure, is there... Let me know in the comments. Is there a downside to my people jumping, or should I be building platforms here? I honestly don't know. But this should do the trick for now. We have that up and running in a moment now. What else was I doing? Oh, right. I was building a new way of producing oxygen. Now, I kind of want to build an electrolyzer here at some point, but I think for the moment what we can do is combine this with some electricity production. Actually, maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't do that. But we can get away, I think, with building just the less intelligent version of that for the moment. Which is just the diffusers. So, this is where I want to build those. There we go. Let's just build them like this. 2 of them? Maybe 2 of them, just to be safe. Honestly, just thinking about this for a moment, does that make sense to build 2 of them? Maybe. I don't know. We'll just go with 2 of them for now. Just to be on the safe side. If any of them have anything that consumes more oxygen, and if we're... Oh, no, actually, it makes sense to have more than 2, because if we add another duplicate to the mix, that is going to be something to work with. Oh, he actually needed to catch some breath there for a moment. That's interesting. Okay, so let's make sure we build this down further. There we go. Yeah, this is starting to look decent. It's definitely more organized than what we've had before. Now the real question is, do I need to do anything specific in here, or is this actually just going to be the place where I produce all my electricity? That might not be the worst choice. It might be the worst choice, because I actually don't know. But you know, let's see. If I go to the digging tool for a moment, because I like this. This is handy to measure things out. I could do my power production in here for the moment, as well as my science. Those might be things I want to do. Okay, so. No. Oh, hold on. I'm not sure what I did, but I definitely don't want to deconstruct that. How do I cancel that? Nope, we're still deconstructing it. Oh, we're not deconstructing it. Hold on. So what's the issue here then? Oh, there's printables available. Ah, okay. I was scared there for a moment. Care package. Water. A lot of water, apparently. Or we can add in another duplicate. I don't think we should add in another duplicate for the moment. Let's just get the ice. Not sure what we're going to be using it for, but it's also probably going to melt and make a mess. But, you know, I feel like I'm in over my head, for sure. Oh, but it is worth checking. Is this now a room? No, it's not, because we don't have a ceiling yet. Can you not make the ceiling? Why are you not making the ceiling? Huh. That's interesting. I just want to double check. Can I not reach the ceiling if I make this like the highest priority? Are they actually going to be building that? Go, Frankie. Frankie is working on the ladder. I did switch the priority, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. This might actually be out of reach. He is building this 2 up. Let's see what he's up to. No, he cannot reach this apparently. Okay, that's not really a problem, because what we can do, for the moment at least, is just copy this like so. You should be able to reach that one, and then that should close off this room. It's not really what we want, but you know, close enough, I suppose. We do need to keep that in mind. Okay. Room. Why is this no longer a room? Oh, because of the same issue. Huh. Okay. Well... Hold on. Then I'll need to kind of dig this out. And while I'm at it, I might as well dig this out. And deconstruct this. And dig this out. And all of that should then take care of the fact that they can build this, and then we have our rooms back in order again. Are you complaining about the coal? Is it cold? Shouldn't be cold, right? No, that looks fine. We also have actual oxygen in here now. I mean, it's not really something to write home about just yet, but you know. Okay, let's see. We need some wires. Not sure why there's wires over there, but if we do this... No, that's... Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Wires, power, wires. There we go. I want to know, can I actually build wires into the floor? That was something we pointed out. I think someone pointed it out in the comments. I think it was Yardiv, actually. That would make things a lot more clear. And it definitely would. So let's try to do this. I also like having these wires like behind this ladder, if that works. Because that just makes things look nice and tidy as well. Okay, so, hey, look. Someone went to the bathroom and washed his hands. Good job, Frankie. That's how you do that. Yeah, I think we need 2 of these washing basins, because if they're going to... What's going on here? So Ellie might not... Let's see. Oh yeah, she didn't wash her hands. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so... Oh, we can just copy that, of course. There we go. We'll have another one of those washing basins, so everyone actually washes their hands when they come out of the toilets. Okay, let's see. Let's give this a slightly higher priority. So this is actually going to get built. Same thing for this, because now we don't have the room, and it's actually kind of like doing everything we don't want to do. Why is Travaldo... What's... Where are you going? He's holding his breath. Oh yeah, that's the oxygen problem. Yeah. Okay, well, we're working on that. But that will have to wait yet another day. And this is like why I said I'm likely to kill my duplicants by redesigning my base, because you're messing with everything you had in place. Even though, honestly, a couple of these things might have been a problem to begin with. But yeah, that's definitely going to cause some issues. Yeah, they are going here to breathe. I guess there was some oxygen left here. The good news is, because there is apparently oxygen coming through here, that means that, you know, some things are actually working like intended. Oh, actually, now I just realized the oxygen is floating up, right? And the CO2 is floating down. So that's an additional reason to maybe have these doors too high, because that means the oxygen can actually flow up. Okay. First, let's get these things in order. And then we need to have these things working. Travaldo earned a skill point. We have several people actually that have skill points. Who are our diggers? I forgot. So let me double check that. We currently have Travaldo digging and Frankie digging. So if I go to my skills, then Frankie needs even more digging skills, I think. And Travaldo also needs the digging skills. What is Marie doing? She's farming. At some point, I want to go into critter ranching. So I'm gonna pick that one up. Is anyone else with skill points? No. And the reason I picked up critter farming is because we have critters. Well, we have a critter. And I want to utilize that to maybe make some more food at some point. Yeah, I know we're low on oxygen. I'm working on it. Let's see. Room overlay, yes, all working like intended. So we now have 3 rooms, so that's good. Should I have made these rooms quite as large from the get-go? Probably not, I don't know. But let's make sure that we get these powered. Then we are going to have plenty of oxygen production over here, which is kind of centralized, which can float up. Which is probably going to float up here initially. Which is not really where we need it to go. But that's why we built 2 of them, so we have a little bit of additional oxygen production. I mean, this is still working. Well, it's not working because there's a maximum gas pressure. And that's kind of the problem. The CO2 is currently not dropping down. Oh, that might actually be the problem. The CO2 is not dropping down. How do we fix that? Well, we can fix that by, you know, going down here. So what I kind of want to do is consolidate these 3 bodies of water. There's going to be some polluted water in there. Oh, the germs are actually increasing. Huh. So maybe we'll have 2 bodies of water then. Are these germs increasing as well? Doesn't look like it. So this is just increasing because we're actively adding new stuff to it. Which is also going to be a problem because we're running out of space to drop this water in here. Okay. Hold on. So let's make sure we set this to the right direction. There we go. And pause for a moment. We have our sleeping area figured out. We have our outhouse figured out. We sort of have our eating area figured out. I mean, it's good enough for the moment. That we are now actively oxygizing this, I think. These are now working, yes. So, we can see the breathable air kind of flowing up. I mean, it's gonna take a while for this to be doing what it needs to do, but it is working. Okay. So that means that what should be our next problem? Problem to work on, I should say. We can either work on the CO2, which is what I'm tempted to do. But that means I also need to deal with the water. Can I move you somehow? Oh yeah, I can. I can relocate you. So I could relocate you. I don't know, here. And the same holds for this thing. Can I relocate this? Yes, I can also relocate you here. I'm not sure that's where I need them to go, but at least they're kind of out of the way over here. So I definitely know I don't want them there. So in terms of water, where do I want the water to go? I actually don't know. So maybe we'll skip that problem for a second and focus on food production first, because that is going to be a problem sooner rather than later as well. And in terms of food production, I have seeds, right? I have seeds, question mark. Because I removed all of my farming, but, hold on. We have 21 mealwood seeds. And I did the math earlier, actually before I started, which I forgot to point out. But mealwood takes 3 days to grow and gives you a item that has 600 calories. Since we need 1000 calories, so effectively it's producing 200 calories per day. I mean, it's per 600 per 3 days, but it's 200 per day if you spread that out. Which also means that we would need 5 of those mealwood plants per duplicate, because they're using up about 1000 calories per day. Which honestly means we need kind of a giant farm, right? Now, that means we need quite a bit of farming space. And I'm inclined to kind of make that up here. Maybe like a farming space on one side and then the ranch that I was talking about on the other side. Then we need some technology for that, but we can deal with that in this area. Yeah, so that's a couple of things I'll be working on. I do like the fact that, you know, the oxygen seems to be slowly getting where it needs to go. With the emphasis on slowly, but you know, we're working on it. I might also just keep these algae in here for the moment, because this is the lowest point in my base, and they are actively taking out some of the oxygen that might be important for the actual airflow. Speaking of which, what I might want to do is, for the moment, and this is extremely temporary, might be overkill, but add in a few more of them. The water should supply itself, and that should mean that this all gets taken care of. That also means I can deconstruct a couple of these. I also kind of want to deconstruct this. And then once all of that is deconstructed, make sure the rest of this layout kind of corresponds to what I've been working on so far. Also means that I will need to add in some tiles. Can I? Oh, I can pre-plan these tiles. So I can deconstruct them first. Okay, that's good to know. Anyway, sorry. Getting distracted there. But you know, like that. So that does that also mean I can do this? No, that doesn't work for some reason. Not sure why, but you know, it is what it is. Clickety click. Deconstructed already. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can add those in. Why are you looking? So yucky lungs. Hold on. Soggy feet. She's hungry. Okay. Oh, the soggy feet is because they've been walking through the water over here. It's a hard life being a duplicant in my base. The relocation worked just fine, so those are up there now. You can start pooping out some coal if you want. You were eating dirt, right? So there's dirt on the floor here. Okay. This is incubating. Incubation 30. Okay, 5% per cycle. Wow. Okay. 5% per cycle, so that's 20 days. 20 cycles for one egg to hatch. Well, we'll need some way to speed that up at some point, but okay. Let's see. This is all working like intended. Yeah, we also need to dig this out because this is a problem. Not entirely sure where we need this liquid to go, but we do need it to go somewhere. I mean, if I do it like this, that should make room for basically twice as much liquid as there is already in there for the moment. Yeah, you're now dumping liquid into an area where I'm not sure where it's going. We also need to deconstruct that tile, I guess? I'm also not sure what happens with this dumping of water if I have this ladder over here. Huh. That's interesting. Hmm. If I just built like tiles in here, does that actively push out the water that direction? Should, right? Okay. So this is all working like intended. How are we doing on oxygen? Yeah, there is some oxygen up here now. There's hydrogen up here as well. Honestly, it's not a bad thing. I mean, we don't want the hydrogen in our base, as far as I'm aware. So having that like flow up is probably a good thing, right? What else is in here? Yeah, it's mostly just CO2 and stuff. Okay. I mean, the CO2 should be able to, well, it should be able to flow down if it wasn't for the fact that this is completely filled up already. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, do I want this water in here or not? That is the real question, and I still don't know the answer to that. What I do know is I kind of want to combine this whole water area together. At some point, at least. But for now, this works fine. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna deconstruct. Am I doing that? No, I'm not doing that. Because what I need to do is have a new floor at this level. Can I deconstruct this tasteful memorial? Can I just dig up Ari and move him somewhere else? I'm not sure what happens with that. If you put a corpse into a memorial and then deconstruct the memorial, what happens to the corpse? Does he just plop out? I'm sorry for all the indecisiveness in this episode, I have to say. I'm trying to make things work as efficiently as I can. I'm also wondering, in terms of furniture, we have the water cooler, right? Do we want a water cooler in here? I mean, it's just some sandstone. Does it need power? Hold on. It was on the furniture, right? Water cooler. Requirements. Preferred room, recreation room. Oh, it needs water? Sure. Brackine. What's brackine? I don't know. We'll just build it and we'll see if it works, but I don't know what brackine is. But like I was saying, sorry for all the indecisiveness in this episode, but it's actually a lot of thinking trying to make this work. I really like how this turned out, by the way. And with the... just double checking if this is actually working like I think it does. Yeah, so the power is working and it's going in here, so that is awesome. Yeah, I definitely like that. Okay, so next plan is let's utilize this water to make an electrolyzer to help out with this oxygen diffusion. I also want to make sure that the CO2 has somewhere to go. We are expanding this thing, so we should probably also dig out a little bit of the stuff over here. Is it a problem if I dump some of the stuff in here? We should probably also start working on a research station once more. I need to do like 17 things at the same time, and I need to start prioritizing. Okay, this is me deciding I'm going to focus on food now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's dig out this area over here. 64, 65, something like that. We don't actually need that one. We also... Do we need... let's see. Room overlay. Is there something that relates... Like, we have a greenhouse. It's a farm station. We don't have a farm station yet. Park, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think none of this actually... So I don't think we need to focus too much on anything specific when it comes to farming. Okay, that makes things a little bit easier, at least. We also need to deconstruct these because I am going to be using the farmer tiles for that. Which will be these. There we go. And these will be covering this entire room. Like so. And you're still holding your breath. That is because there's all kinds of gases in here that we don't want there to be. This is starting to look a lot better though, so that is good. It might also be because this is actively clearing out some of the CO2, which allows some of the other stuff to go up here, so that is really good. He is trying to breathe. Honestly, okay, I'm just gonna try something out, and I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not. But if we have an oxygen diffuser, and I just put that up here because I'm not closing off this thing anyway. All I need to do, basically, is have a wire go like this. Actually, like that. Cancel that one. And then we're actively making oxygen up here. I mean, not sure if that works. I mean, these stopped working because we have a high pressure now. I'm still thinking. Maybe I should be... Yeah. I do think that we should replace some of these walls with double doors. Which means I need to deconstruct this, this, and this. And then just have doors on top of that, because I do think that will improve the flow of gas throughout the entire base. Is that actually the case? I don't know. You let me know in the comments, but it does feel like that would massively improve the gas flow back and forth through the base. We are now also putting in some of these things, so I can start planting some mealwood. I can also copy these settings and apply these settings to all of these. It's interesting to see if this gets completed. Does it automatically plant the mealwood? No, it doesn't. So I do need to do that after it gets built. There we go. But you know, that should be fine. Growth halted because of fertilization. What do you need? I actually don't think these things need water, do they? 3 cycles. So like I said, this is 3 cycles. It can grow pretty much any atmosphere and just needs some dirt. So that should be fine. We should have plenty of dirt, I assume. Let me double check. We have, yeah, we have plenty of dirt. We have 54 tons available. Let's make because people are actually stopping to work because they don't have oxygen. Let's make sure we increase the priority on this a little bit. Let's also make sure we increase the priority on building the power line, otherwise it's not going to do anything anyway. There we go. So everyone is now working on getting the oxygen supply up and running there. That's interesting. Okay, so you are up and running. We can either run it on water or bracking. Bracking gives a minus 15% stress and +2 moral, apparently. But if you just put water in there, that works fine as well. Which means this is now a mess hall. What do we need for a grey hall? A dining table, decor building, recreational building. I was hoping to upgrade this, but I'm not sure why it's not working. Huh. This is outside of a recreation room. Okay. Not sure. I mean, a recreation room is that a thing? Did I just look? Oh, there we go. A recreation room. A recreational building, no industrial building, decor building, 1. Okay. Interesting. We'll get to that in a moment, but like I said, we are prioritizing. So, that means we are now actively planting things in here. I can copy some settings and make sure we have some more trees being planted. All over the place, actually. This is going to give me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Okay, so this is going to give me enough food for about 4 duplicates, right? I suck at math. Which is weird, because I'm an actuary. Anyway, 16,000. It's three of these guys should be able to feed themselves from this farm over here. And that is without taking into account that I can turn that into more efficient materials. So what I could do... In the mess hall, okay, hold on. In the mess hall, we couldn't have machines, right? Yeah, so we can't produce the food in here. That's not what we want. What we can do, however, is produce the food next to where we're currently... This is just kind of... This is an industrial area to begin with. So what we could do is either have the grill. Let's have both of them, actually, because I still don't know what the grill produces. So I haven't built that yet. Let's have some power going there as well. And new log entry. Cycle 15! Well, we're not dead yet. We haven't lost any more people. And we are slowly starting to organize our base. I mean, this is already looking a lot better than it did before. And once we deal with whatever is going on over here, it's going to look even better still. Okay. Did he just jump down on top of the other door and then jump down here? I mean, I guess that works. So both of them went to the bathroom. They're chatting. And then, yeah, this is working just fine. Okay, yeah, so 2 washing basins is apparently where it's at. Okay, so, gas-wise? I mean, this is slowly starting to turn blue/light blue, which is what we want to see. And I think this oxygen diffuser is contributing to that. So that is nice. We definitely need to deal with the CO2 at some point as well. But I'm not sure if that's going to be my first priority. Okay, so we are back on a new day, and it seems that we're doing a pretty decent job at clearing out our little farm over here. And look, I have an electric grill, so what can I actually make here? Mush fry does what? Oh, it actually takes a mush bar as an ingredient and then turns it into something that's slightly less horrible. Okay. This needs mushrooms, spindly gup fruits, meal lice. Oh, this is interesting. So I can actually turn... Ah, okay. So this turns meal lice into a pickled meal, which has the same calorie amount, but I assume this is going to last longer. Okay, that's interesting. Or we can just barbecue some meat. Okay, so I have none of the stuff that I need for this, and I also need someone with a grilling skill in order to actually make this, make use of this. So that's a problem. Okay, so let's just keep making lice loaf. I wonder, it says recipe 3 out of 4. So how do I get the 4th recipe? I don't know, but I do think it makes sense to just... Wait, what is the problem here? Wait for materials, insufficient resources. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That makes sense, actually, considering I haven't actually made any of these. So let's copy the settings, and let's make sure we're growing as much as we can. Honestly, we don't necessarily need to limit ourselves to these, what is it, 16 slots over here, but it's nice to kind of stick to that for the moment, just because that keeps our base a little bit more symmetric. I mean, there's not much symmetric about my base for the moment, but you know, in theory, that's what counts. Okay, so we need a couple of more tables because we are focusing on food. Again, I should try to stick to using these. So this way 5 people at the same time can have dinner. Speaking of food, I could make another because I have different things that I can grow, right? Is there a way I can see... Oh, I have new printables available. Let's use a blueprint. Do we want to add in... Oh, skilled. Super duper hard digging. This starts with a tier 3 skill. I mean... Maybe? This is probably a bad idea, but I'm gonna bring her on board. That means we need a couple of other things. Again, let's make sure we use our hotkeys. We need another bed. We probably should at this point also start, you know, considering to do this. Was this already a gap or not? I actually don't remember. Let's make sure we keep digging this out as well. We have plenty of people who can dig very, very hard now. Is this actually powered up? I am not sure. Should be powered up. Okay, so that works. So the digging should happen kind of like as a passive process. There we go. Oh, we should probably go to priorities as well. So we had our new digger. That was her, right? Yeah. So we want you to also prioritize digging and ranching because you're really good at it. But, you know, mostly digging. Now we have 3 diggers. Look at that. I mean, this is going really, really fast. So that's actually kind of nice. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and think about the next step of our progress. We have the bed sorted now. How are we doing on oxygen? Sort of okay. We have that hydrogen gas clumping up here. I actually don't know where that is coming from. Should I be worried about that? I don't think so, but, you know, who knows? Well, we're going to have to deal with that at some point. However, let's see. We are also going to need to deal with the water situation. Now, how do I do that? That's the real question. I'm almost inclined to kind of have my water... I totally regret putting this in the middle. That's for sure. If I combine all of this water, is that going to be polluted? Is that how that works? I actually don't know. I mean, there's germs in there, but if I mix this water up, is that going to be a problem? I don't know. Probably some we don't... Oh, look, there's another thingy here. What I'm thinking is maybe if we can combine some of these water things together, that might be ideal. I mean, it might not be. I don't know. I could also just kind of move this water to the side a little bit. Make this like the primary basin. Yeah, that might actually not be the worst of ideas. Might be. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But if I can kind of get this water out of the way, then we can tunnel down here. So, okay, here's the plan. Is this a good plan? I don't know, but it's a plan. So, what I can do is delete some of this. So we're going to be deconstructing that. And we can deconstruct that as well. Then what I want to do is make sure we get rid of this as well. And then I am going to dig this out a little further. So let's see, if I want this... this floor is actually on the correct height already. So I kind of want to have all the water in here. Something like this. And now what I'm trying to do here is get this water to go in here. So we have kind of like a basin that's a little bit more... a bit more organized than what we have so far. If this is that gonna work, I don't know. I'm also gonna set this priority a little bit higher so that, you know, this is going to be dug out first. Yep, and then, let's see. We put a ladder down here. Probably increase the speed a little bit. They are having some oxygen problems, that makes sense. Okay, guys, you are going to be trapping yourself in there once again. What else is new? let's see, I actually shouldn't be doing it like this, should I? I think it's fine for now. Maybe it is actually fine. We're gonna find out sooner or later. We actually need to go back up to breathe. Not sure if there's if that is a major problem. It's definitely slowing things down. But if I can have the water in over here, then I can expand this polluted water thingy. Let's see. Polluted water is dirty and filtered water. It's not fit for consumption. Sure. Just looking at is there some way we can. I mean, the germs are decreasing. These germs are increasing. Oh, the germs are just going to the bottom, I guess. So there's rotten meat in here as well. Okay. Not sure how that got in there, but you know. Apparently it is there. Okay, so this is kind of working like intended. Can I kind of push this water like... actually, let's see. So, if I build some blocks. Something like this. I also need to get that sorted. I also want to make sure that... I don't know if these walls can collapse. Some of these games have like water going through sand and stuff like that. I don't want that to happen. What are you all doing? Other stuff. Oh, you're eating. Ah, okay. Well, let's turn to the next day. No, some of the water actually leaked out and went underground. So apparently they removed the tile first and then they place in a new one. And then for a moment, yeah, as you can see. And then for a moment the water went through. So that's not ideal, but okay. We lost some water there. However, what I wanted to do was this. Let's see. We are going to use some more tiles. I'm gonna place one down like that. I'm also going to place one down like that. Can I build that over a... Yeah, okay, that's actually kind of cool. So. And I'm slowly going to fill this in and push the water out. Same thing over here, I guess. Not sure why the water is sticking on that platform there. Bloop. Yeah, okay. So I think this is working. And then slowly push the water in there. Actually raising this oh they can't get out if I do this. So let's do it like that. This is probably the slowest way to do this. I mean, I could use a pump. But, I don't know, building the pump is probably more... Well, no, hello! Hold on. Super high priority. Why did that just... fall out? That makes no sense. Don't think we lost more water there. Which is honestly like a little bit surprising, but you know. Okay. Now we can't get to that tile, so this is not working like intended. So let's make sure we deconstruct that. The fact that they keep picking up like building materials that we don't necessarily need to go there is a little bit annoying as well. Okay, so. Let's see if this works. Okay, the faster way to do this is probably like this. This is going to push the water up, hopefully. Push it over the edge. There we go! We earned a colony achievement. For what? Construct a building outside of the initial starting biome. Do we have biomes? Can I see biomes? Let's see. Germ overlay, blah 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 blah. Not really. I mean, this definitely looks like a different biome than the one I am. Maybe this as well. This looks slimy, for sure. There's probably a lot of things to learn from those biomes as well. But are we slacking again? Yeah, everyone is off to bed. So this is a multi-day project apparently. Okay, so this is a new day, and apparently I have long commutes, which is surprising considering how small this base is. But you know, whoa, hello, help. Made a mess. Someone made a mess. Why did you make a mess? Because the toilets are out of order. Well, empty the toilets then. I mean, why are we not emptying the toilets? Maybe because it's not high enough priority? I should probably have improved that a little bit already. Now I need to mop this up. Because it's leaking into all my beautiful water! Oh. Well, that's not good. Okay, well, anyway, we'll get to test out live, I guess, whether or not this works. Okay, but this is draining the water to where I want it to go. So if I now do this... and this, I guess... well, that is definitely not going to work. I'm not sure how big of a problem it is if there's a little bit of water on there. I mean, that's eventually going to, like, flow down, right? Maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit of a shame that we now have... oh, the germs are decreasing. That's because the germs are kind of, like, settling on the floor. There's all kinds of stuff in there. That's probably a problem, right? I don't know. We can sweep that up, I suppose. Not sure if I need to do that. I do like the fact that this looks a lot more, like, intentional than it did before. So what I can do now is go to my plumbing and then have... I mean, this could work. This is not ideal, to be honest. Huh. Well, I am going to take... let's see, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be... actually, this would be the height of my... okay, so, sorry. I will try to speak in full sentences. What I meant to say is that if I remove this now, and I put in a new tile structure like this... is that 1, 2, 3? This is not the correct height, is it? 1, 2, 3. No. So I need to deconstruct that once more. And then the actual height is going to be this. And actually... actually, I need to move this ladder as well, because this ladder is in the wrong position. What I need this to do is... there needs to be a wall there. If I want to keep everything nice and tidy. And then I can delete that. And then I should be able... let's go back to the plumbing and to put a picture. Yeah, there we go. I can't put it quite there because there's going to be a ladder there. But this way I can get my water very easily like this. Huh, I might actually want to move this down a little bit so I can actually reach the bottom of this tank. I mean, we don't necessarily need to have every single floor be 4 tiles, I guess. I mean, that makes sense. Should probably not rely on that too hard. Okay, so that works. Actually, if I click on this and I copy this... you can build it higher, but the thingy down below is not going to stretch out for much longer than that. Okay, so something like that, and then we can deconstruct this, and this. And then we have something that resembles an actual functional base. I like it. Okay, so but that also means that if I now build these, then I can start deconstructing some of this. And then I can dig down here and make sure we have a CO2 filter thingy going down below. I could actually use some of this water that fell through in order to, like, water my algae. The polluted water probably won't work for that, will it? Probably not. Okay, so we have that going. Then what we can do is... Okay. I am going to put back my plants. So oxygen, right, yeah. So let's have those right next to that. That won't actually work if I bring down the CO2 lower, right? Probably not, but, you know. We need to start somewhere. I can now deconstruct these. And dig through these. Should we just go all the way down? I mean, that is going to give me a nice little cluster over here. And then I can have 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. And then this is where my algae plants should go, probably. I mean, I should probably close this off. Also, my pay over there is going to suffocate because she can't go back up. Hold on. Hold on. High priority. Let's build ourselves a stair. Oh, you're all eating. She actually has oxygen. Okay, that's cute. So she's gonna sleep there, hopefully survive. She's kind of cold. She's sopping wet. Popped eardrums, full bladder. Oh, she's not happy. Well, there's nothing I can do for you at the moment. I can print something again. We can have a care package. We can get some sand or some sandstone. I don't know. I don't think I need either of these. Let's just keep this for now. I don't want to add in too many people to my base if I can't handle that. Because that is going to be a problem. It takes forever for one of these eggs to hatch, doesn't it? Someone made a mess once again? Why? Oh, well, okay, she couldn't reach the bathroom. That makes sense. Okay, so... yeah, CO2, all going down here. That is working like intended. I should probably not have dug down this low, though, because we kind of don't want it to go all that way. But I can do this and this. And now I have kind of my CO2 area over there. And get my plants there as well, I suppose. So let's see. Oxygen. Have those sit down there, and then we can, well, we can leave those there as well, honestly. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they're not going to be doing anything if they don't have CO2, and if the CO2 gets high enough, then they're slowly going to vent that off, so that should work just fine. The interesting thing is these things are going to slowly start producing some oxygen as well, so that will float up. And honestly, I really like how the oxygen is working currently in this base, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's go back to the normal overview. Do we need one more of these? Probably not. Breathability. Oxygen is becoming scarce or low pressure. Which one is it, though? Food is really low, though. On the other hand, we are growing some more at the moment. What is a sticker bomb? Surprise decor sneak attacks a duplicate gloomy day. Did I build this? Let me know in the comments where did this come from. Is this a bad thing? It seems to have a positive effect, right? Let me check the decor. They really seem to like it. I also have no... Why do I like this so much? There's a sticker bomb here as well. Okay. Someone sticker bombed me. Is that something my new thingy does? Doesn't look like it. As far as I can tell. Traits, balloon artist. Hands out balloons when they are overjoyed. I have no idea where that came from. There's, honestly, I have to say, this game is sort of overwhelming. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But I do mean it that this game is definitely more complex than a lot of games in this genre. In terms of how much different things that is going on at the same time. And, you know, all of that is a little bit overwhelming, I have to say, to some extent. I am going to be deconstructing a couple of these things because I don't think they're really doing anything for me at the moment. I am also going to make sure we set up a new power production facility. So that means I can remove all of these. We can probably also remove these because we have so many of these plants already. I also want to make sure that we dig out this a little bit further. But, let's see. Actually having this like so, it's maybe not the worst idea in the world. Mostly because we can make use of a little bit more. So, let's see. If I go like this, I can build myself a little vat. Like so. Yeah, that should be fine. You know, obviously taking into account that these shouldn't be there. Then I can deconstruct this one. Most of this as well. I want to dig all of this out. Actually, I can best do that like so. Hold on. I don't want to dig this out yet until this wall has been established, because otherwise I'm going to have the whole leaking problem again. But that does mean I can start digging this out. That should be fine. Maybe make this a little higher like this, just so my good water doesn't get wasted. Okay, just like this. Just so they can actually reach it. There we go. Also means I can deconstruct all of this, right? Yeah. And dig out this. There's probably an easier way to do all of this, but this is working like I want it to, I believe. We should probably also... Hold on. This thing should probably be over here. So then I can deconstruct this one. Start deconstructing this as well. And I need some of this stuff to be here until I'm done actually building this entire thing out. Okay, that should work. Okay, hold on. Duplicants have died. Someone suffocated? Why though? You can just go out. Well, this was the new one we just got. So we're now back to 5, I guess. I just don't know. Oh, she might have gotten stuck on top of there somehow. By the looks of it, I mean, she can jump down 3 thingies. She could just have dug down, though. Okay, well, learning hard lessons, for sure. Also maybe taking on giant projects like this. We have more sticker bombs. Where are all these stickers coming from? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm getting really curious, though. This isn't like an in-game event. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I am going to be able to finish this and then have a giant little waste bucket for polluted water. So that's going to be nice. In the meanwhile, I need some more power. Well, I need any power because I have a 0 at the moment. So let's make a jumbo battery like this. And then connect all of that up. There we go. There we go. There we go. And we can also make sure we have this. That puts kind of nicely all of our electrical equipment in the same area. I mean, not all of it, but most of it at least. How's our egg doing? Incubation 80%. Okay. I mean, these things are eating dirt, right? So there's plenty of dirt there on the floor. And then let's honor her by having a tasteful memorial right over there. Which actually reminds me, do I need 2 of them? Because I lost two of my my dudes. Let's see what happens if I place down 2. If there's just going to be 1 body in there, or if we actually get Ari's memorial back as well. I mean, these stickers seem to be permanent. That's interesting. What is this gas? Slime lung. Oh, okay. That's probably not good. Okay, we can deconstruct that. I'll start deconstructing this as well. She's very happily running around in polluted water. I mean, you do you. Just carefully. Oh, and we missed a spot there. Well, we will build a new one, don't worry. We definitely also need to deconstruct this, otherwise the water can't actually fall through. There we go. Which I guess means we're building this again. And this feels really redundant because we just removed it. But because I just remembered we need to get her body from down there anyway. There's a lot of resources here on the ground as well, so that might be another reason to, you know, do something with that. Okay, so we need to, hold on, just polluted water, please. There we go. So now we have somewhere to dump all of that polluted water. Okay, so we have water going in here. Then we also have a lot of polluted water over here that is going to, not emitting overpressure. What would it be emitting? Oh. Hold on. Not emitting. What would? Oh, so this actually produces polluted oxygen. Does this also produce oxygen then? That's nice. So having polluted... I'm not sure how polluted water actually produces oxygen. I guess it's the germs in there. That actually makes somewhat sense. And there we go. Pei is going to go into a nice little memorial over here. Now it does seem that Ari's memorial is now gone. Oh, they're so unhappy about this. Anyway, let's see. We have harvested some of our crops already. That's good. We are making those into lice loaf, which is good because we are actually running kind of low on food. Which means I should probably think about making some more. Where's all this water coming from? There wasn't water up here before, right? This is just the ice. I don't know. I do like we have this whole water thing going on over here. So that's nice. He's watering the plants. That's really good. Okay, long commutes. Is there some way we can solve that? Let's go to priorities. Well, we have the priorities set. Let's see. Enable proximity. Reset priorities. Returns all priorities. No, we don't want to do that. What's this then? Oh, here. There we go. Errand proximity settings. Enabling proximity settings tells my duplicants to always choose the closest, most urgent errand to perform. Isn't that what they're already doing? When disabled, duplicants will choose between two high priority errands based on a hidden priority hierarchy instead. Enabling proximity helps cut down on travel times in areas with lots of high priority errands and is useful for large colonies. Isn't this just useful in general? I might be missing something there, but sounds useful for every single base that you could build, but you know. Okay. So, let's see. We can build some more tiles. We can build some more ladders. There we go. And we can dig out this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, we can dig out something like this. We apparently cannot completely dig this out because there is some very hard stuff in there. But you know, that's gonna be just fine. Now, I think I have most of my basics covered already now. However, hold on, I don't want to build this here. It should be a normal floor. This is going to be... Oh, hold on. Let me do it the proper way. This is going to be another farm, just to make sure we have some more stuff we can plant down. We have definitely more mealwood we can plant. We have some other plants as well I want to take a closer look at once we get a chance. Let's make sure we keep this nice and tidy. This is hydrogen gas. We should probably have... Well, we can keep that in here. That's actually not a problem. Frankie earned a skill point. Okay, let's go to Frankie's skill points. We will give you super hard digging, so that you can actually go dig yourself a way through that. Do we still have a researcher? Because Ari was our researcher, right? Yeah. So let's make Ellie our researcher now? Question mark. I don't know. And Ashkan can be our crop tender. So let's go to the priorities. Let's make sure that Ashkan is... Yeah, he's already farming, so that's good. And then Ellie is going to be our researcher as well. That is fine. Okay, so that should work. Now, speaking of research, we actually need to do some research. This is all connected, so that is working like intended. Maybe we should be... Let's see. Research station, we can put that one over here. I don't think we have another specific... Is there such a thing as a research room? Hold on. Power plant, greenhouse, stable, laboratory. 2 science buildings. This doesn't actually give me a bonus, because this one says, okay, effects plus more, so additional morale, but this doesn't actually say that you get a bonus for that. So I'm not sure why I would want to aim for that specifically. Maybe that becomes something we need to focus on later on. But for now, this is going to cover us just fine, I believe. Okay, so let's see. I might just be solving problems that honestly shouldn't even be a problem, but, you know, I might also be creating problems for the future by doing all of this. But I do have to say, this looks like a lot more organized in terms of my base. And all in all, I'm not feeling too unhappy about this. Now, I have my secondary farm ready. I actually want to try something. So if I build myself a couple of these over here, that will lock that room down, sort of. Now hold on, where are you? I want you to be relocated to over here. Where's the other one? I had two of them, right? Maybe it's easier to find them if I... That's interesting. I have a smaller one as well, right? Am I just blind? Am I not seeing it? There's probably a couple of you screaming in the comments now, like, it's over there, you... There's fish? Okay. That's interesting. That's good to know. That's not what I was looking for, though. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what happened to my floating little light bulb. That's my secondary floating little light bulb, I will have to say. This seems to be a theme for this game, that I have no idea what's going on with some of my creatures and stuff like that. Okay, so we have a lice loaf over here, which is not refrigerated. This is something that we'll need to deal with at some point. But the main reason I was looking at my lamp was because I want to try planting some bristle blossoms. Now these need some water, which is honestly a little bit inconvenient since my water is all the way over here. But they also need light, and I figured, well, because we have one of those lights floating around, we might as well put that to use. So, you know, let's try to see if that works. These are slightly better than my millwood thingies, so, yeah, you know, that might be worth doing. And then if we do it like this, we will have another bit of immeasurable. This is impenetrable. This neutronium, which I cannot mine, apparently. Okay. Well, I guess we're not mining that one out then. But yeah, the idea is that I bring my floating light bulb into there. And I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen, because it seems to be floating outside of the range of my my dupes, my duplicants all the time. Dupies? How are we calling them? I don't know. But anyway, if that doesn't work, then those plants are not going to grow because they need light. So, you know, get over there. Anyway, that will at some point hopefully fix itself. Now, let's see. I have my science up and running as long as I actually connect it. So there we go. And then we can start doing some more research. Now, let me just double check. Did I cover all my bases? We are up in food. Quite significantly so, actually, again. So we went down to 10,000 calories at some point. Yeah, so these are currently not growing because they don't have any illumination. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give this like a super high priority. Can I do this? Oh, I need to do this one. So as soon as he... Yeah, there we go. You go, Marie. Oh, it fell to the ground. Okay. Yeah, we're getting rid of the water. That is working like intended. All in all, this is working fairly well. We have a lot of that water over here that we don't really want, and that's being dumped in here. So at some point I'm gonna have to find a way to replenish this water. So I'm actually wondering if Can I bring this water? Can I just dump that in here? I mean, I don't know if that works, but usually putting ice, like, into water melts it, right? Is this... Yeah, this is what we're relocating. Okay, so I have my science back up and running. Let's turn down the speed a little bit. I have... I'll just keep the storage bins in here for now. I'm not entirely sure I want them. I mean, this is probably fine if I just put everything in here, right? That's not necessarily the most efficient thing to do, but if I do it like this, then we can have like an entire storage facility over here. We can even put in a door to make it look a little bit more neat. Same thing for this thing. We can put in a door. Do we need a door? Probably not. Do I have a door? Yes. And then all in all, we are doing fairly well, I would say. We have another one of these creepy crawlies, so I'm gonna relocate you to over here, just so we have all of those creatures on the same place. Not sure where you came from, but doesn't matter. I probably dug it out somewhere along the way. And there they go. Look. Look, these plants are actually growing. Oh, as long as you stay in the correct, place. I mean, I should probably... okay, hold on. So, let's see. If I do it like this, if I uproot you, and I copy you, we can do it like this. And then we can make sure you stay here in the corner. Then the idea is that this little light bulb thingy is just going to float around in here and forever. And, never be able to leave again. Hopefully these plants will then just keep growing. It's probably going to be a suboptimal solution for one reason or another. I don't know, do these things die? Oh yeah, age 15 out of 25. Huh. Which makes the fact that I don't know where the other one went, or how we lost it, even more painful. But it is what it is. Or is this the new one? This might actually be the new one. Sorry, this might actually be the new one. It grew up, and its tiny little friend died. Or its older friend died, I mean. Okay, anyway. It is what it is. Hold on. We just unlocked the mini pod. A new portable bioprinter that produces new duplicates or care packages containing resources. Only one printing pod or mini pod is permitted per planetoid, so that doesn't give me anything. We just unlocked that. We dealt with all the oxygen. We dealt with power for the moment, I think. We could try to produce some more power. How much coal do we have? I mean, 4,500 kilograms is... I don't know if that's a lot. Let's see. So this takes in basically 1 kilogram per second. So it would run for quite a while, and it probably doesn't need to run full time anyway. I mean, sure. Let's expand this a little further. We also probably, because this looks like sand, we probably need to do this. Is this the width that we were aiming for? It was, right? Yeah. So let's just to make sure that we remember that. Let's put in a wall over here. Probably not necessary, but I like it neat, sort of nice and tidy. We can put a coal generator in there. Now, is there anything else that we're currently missing? I think we can up the speed a little bit. We could have a liquid pump. To do what again? We can automate anything liquid with that. For example, the oxygen. So rather than using the oxygen diffusers, we could use an electrolyzer instead. That turns water into oxygen and hydrogen gas. So we could pump the water out here. Now this water level seems to be dropping quite quickly. I mean, we have plenty of water to work with over there, but... Huh, that's a little bit worrying. Okay, something to keep in mind. But do I mean, this seems to be working just fine, so I don't think we need to upgrade that just yet. We also have a compost thingy. I think I'll make a kind of like a generic room over here. I'm not sure what we will use that for. We kind of already have a generic room over here going as well. But this is close to where all my farms are, so that makes sense. Oh, medicine. We haven't done anything with that yet. So what I could do is make 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be that level. There we go. We could dig out another area over here. Again, is this the correct size? Yes, it... Yeah, it's not actually. Hold on. That is 64 tiles. Sure. So how is this 68? Ah, okay. So... Hold on. We're building a wall over there. Just so I know what I'm doing. So this is going to be our medicine quarter. So we could use some basins over there. Some massage tables, actually. It's interesting that this isn't a medical, but, you know. Okay. We have the water cooler. Is anyone actually using the water cooler yet? I haven't seen it. We will need to pay attention during downtime if they actually use it. Let's see. Then we have the research station. We have that. We have... Oh, a water computer. A water computer. A supercomputer that uses water. That's what I was meaning to say. Speaking of research, let's make sure we keep researching, because I think we have some more basic stuff to research as well. Let's make sure we do that one. Well, actually, let's focus on the medical equipment first. This produces medicine to cure most basic diseases. And this is going to do what? This is a sick bay. We have a couple of sick people. We have a hand sanitizer that removes most germs from duplicates. So how is this different from the wash basin? I guess we're about to find out. Okay, so I built another room, or at least I tried to, but this isn't counting, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. So I tried to make a hospital or a massage clinic, one of those. Now, in order to make a massage clinic, we needed a massage table and a decor building and no industrial machinery. I might have ruined that by building some more of the hospital stuff in here. But in order to make a hospital, we needed medical equipment, a toilet, a dining table. And I think that should work like this, right? I mean, the sick bay is a medical building outside of the hospital, yes. This is the toilet. I mean, it's outhouse. Might actually have to be an actual toilet. Not entirely sure. We have a mess table. So we needed a... Well, also the dining table as well, right? So, not entirely sure why this isn't working. This actually counts as a medical building as well. So maybe I need to deconstruct this building? I don't know. Let's find out. But probably we'll have to do that next time. All in all, I like the fact that my base is a lot more organized. I am not entirely sure if this is feasible whatsoever. Feels like I am fumbling along very much. So if you're still here, definitely you are awesome for sticking with me. Any tips and tricks are very much appreciated. I'm just gonna keep plugging along with this game because I do really like it, but man, this is overwhelming. Either way, if you're still here, you are awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.